Welcome to Bankside Cuisine. I'm Simon and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a lovely little Mediterranean chicken couscous dish. Now we've got everything laid out in front. I've left it like this so you can see what I'm using. I've already bought the vegetables ready done from my local supermarket, so I haven't had to worry about that. A couple of chicken breasts, some herbs, we've got some stock pots, a little bit of tomato puree, some garlic puree, and I've got some giant whole wheat couscous. So let me clear this out the way, get the stoves up, and I'll show you how to make it. Right, so I've got the open section of the combi pan here. We're only going to need the one pan. I'm just going to drizzle in a little bit of oil. So we've got our chicken that's going to go into the pan here. You can just see that little bit of smoke coming off the oil. You already want that pan nice and warm. Don't put your chicken straight into a cold pan, otherwise it's just going to sit there and stew. We want it to nicely colour. So we're just going to lift these in. There you go, and you can already hear that searing and sizzling away. Now while that's in there, all I'm going to do is just lightly season those. There you go guys, that's my choice of seasoning. I always recommend just keep these in your cook bag with you, but I've got some sea salt in a grinder, black pepper in a grinder, and then garlic flakes in a grinder. Now these are really good for just adding that little bit of depth of flavour to any dish that you're making. In there's garlic, there's some rosemary and some little herbs like thyme, etc. But it really adds that punch of flavour to anything that you're going to cook. These take up no room in your cook kit at all, but they're always worth having with you on the bank. Right, we've sealed our chicken off, so that's cooking on both sides, and we're going to keep turning that. But the next thing to go into the pan is some of our vegetable mix. I've chosen this nice little Mediterranean vegetables. You've got some courgettes, onions, peppers, loads of lovely flavours in there. So I'm just going to use about half a bag. So once again, if you plan the meals that you're going to cook on the bank, if you buy a bag of that, that'll last you for a couple of dishes. You could actually do a pasta dish with that as well. Cook these off, add some tomato sauce and some nice spaghetti. You're going to get a lovely meal from that as well. So by buying one bag of this, you can have a couple of meals out of it. Next into the pan, we're going to add some tomato puree and some garlic puree. So you're looking for about a tablespoon of tomato puree and about a teaspoon of garlic puree. We're just going to get those mixed through, carry on that cooking process for a few seconds longer. Okay, so that's been cooking. Next to go in there, I've just got a little bit of fresh thyme. This is an optional extra, you don't have to put this in, but I do love the flavours that these fresh herbs give you. You know, they really give a nice little bit of extra oomph to the dishes that you're cooking while you're creating them. They don't take up a load of room. You can always pick them before you go and have them in a little bag ready as well. Next to go in is our couscous. Now this is giant couscous. You can have normal couscous if you want, but this will really come out nicely in this dish because it's the larger grains. This is a whole wheat version. You can use the normal white version as well, but we're going to look for about half a handful. There we go. And then next to go in, we're just going to add some water. I've got a little stock pot there, just some garden vegetables, parsley, bay leaf, just some herbs. So we're going to add that into there. You could use a chicken one as well. I've just gone with this one purely for the herby flavour that is going to add to the dish. So we've got our chicken in the pan, we've sealed that off, we put our vegetables, we've cooked those off, then we've added our tomato puree, our garlic puree, some thyme and some water and the couscous. All that's left to do now, we're just going to simmer that up. I'm going to put the top of the pan on, and that's just going to help the chicken to steam through, all of those flavours penetrate through and that couscous absorb it. Right, so I've just removed the top of the combi pan from there, and you can see in here how all of that water's been absorbed. It's steamed that chicken breast through. It's been absorbed by the couscous. We've got that lovely little remnants of a little tomatoey sauce there as well. So what we're going to do now is just finish this off. I'm just going to shred some fresh herbs through there. Now this is some basil, I've got some coriander to go in there as well. Nice big chunks of these herbs, and that's just going to give us a really zingy flavour into there. As I said, it's a nice Mediterranean dish, loads of bright flavours. You've got the tomato in there, we've got that basil, the onions, the peppers. We're just going to add a little bit of this coriander as well. Just get all of those mixed through. So I'm just going to move that chicken to the side now. That's finished cooking. We just want the last remnants of this just to mix through with all of those herbs. And there you go. So the reason that I chose the giant couscous is it's so much easier to actually cook properly than the smaller couscous. With the smaller couscous, it's very easy to make it go soggy and sticky, and it'll all clump together. As where these, it's almost in effect like cooking a pasta. It'll absorb the water to the point of it being cooked. There we go, so that's all cooked. All of that liquid's been absorbed by the couscous. There's still a little bit of moisture in there that's formed a nice little sauce over the vegetables. All that's left to do now is plate up. Here we go guys, the finished dish. We've got a nice little Mediterranean chicken and couscous with med veg, flavoured with basil, coriander and thyme, a little bit of garlic. What could be better? Why not give this a go on the bank? As you can see, it's made enough for 2 people, 1 if you're really hungry, and we've only used 1 pan.